Hi, Eaton families. I hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's healthy and staying safe and finding new fun ways to connect with each other during this time. I wanted to do a special reading for you guys today. The day I'm recording it actually is April 30th, which is the last day of the month of April, obviously. And April is Autism Awareness Month. Some of you don't know this, but before I started working at Heaton, I had worked with students who have autism for the last 9 years. And it was a huge blessing and extremely rewarding, and I loved every minute of it. But it was time for me to move on and do something different, and now I get to be with all of you at Heaton, and I love that too. I'm actually wearing an autism awareness shirt that I designed last year. It says "See the Able, not the label," and I wanted to just celebrate families of students who have autism, and I wanted to celebrate autism itself and the uniqueness of it and the complexity, and read a story that I love and kind of bring some awareness to autism. I actually have a cousin with autism, and I have 2 nephews with autism, and some of my closest friends have kids with autism. So I'm just gonna, this is all my stripes. A story for children with autism. All right. Zane ran home as fast as he could. "Nobody gets me, Mama." Mama hugged Zane. He began to tell her about his bad day. This morning in art class, the teacher started a hoof painting project. I didn't want to get paint on my hooves, so the teacher gave me a paintbrush. All the other zebras noticed and were making fun of me because they didn't understand why I wouldn't use my hooves. Mama said, "I bet that made you feel different from the rest of the group." Zane replied, "It did, but paint is just too weird to touch." During math class, the fire alarm blared loudly. While the children in my class were getting in line quietly, I hid under the desk screaming and covering my ears. The class left without me, and I was scared until the firefighters found me. When the class came back from lunch, everyone was putting their lunch boxes in their cubbies. Some classmates were talking about a video game I play all the time, but I didn't know how to start talking to them. I started talking about all the things I knew about the game, but since I was staring at the floor, nobody knew I was talking to them. When the louder kids walked away, I started talking louder. I really wanted them to hear me, but everybody was getting ready for science class. We sat down for science and were learning about the planets. Our teacher gave us each a planet to draw, but I wanted to create my own. When it came time to present, I felt different from the rest of the class again. My teacher loved my planet and said, "Whatever floats your boat." I spent the rest of the afternoon looking for a boat in the classroom. Zane was crying. "How come all anyone sees is my autism stripe?" Mama carried Zane over to the mirror. "When I look at you, I see many different stripes. If one of them were missing, you wouldn't be the same." "I see your pilot stripe when you get lost in the city. You always remember the way home." "Your caring stripe makes you act kindly toward others. When your classmates think it's funny to bully other kids, you come to the rescue." "Your honesty stripe lets me always trust your word. When other parents have to worry that their kids aren't telling the truth, I know you always are." My favorite stripe is your curiosity stripe. When all the other kids are falling asleep in class, you always want to know more. I love when you come home and tell me everything you learned. Sometimes you ask me questions I don't even know the answers to. Mama pointed out the rest of Zane's amazing stripes. The more stripes she explained, the better Zane began to feel about himself. By the time she was finished, Zane loved himself again. Zane ran outside feeling the warmth of the sun. Finally, he felt proud of all his stripes. He said, "There's more to me than just my autism stripe. It's just a part of me. The other parts make the whole me. I love each stripe because without them, I wouldn't be me." The end. So I want to take a minute and go back through the book and kind of explain a little bit of what Zane was talking about when he was struggling at school. So Zane, remember, he didn't want to touch the paint because paint was icky, and he got a paintbrush. Students who have autism have what we call sensory disorders or difficulties. And so something that seems so simple to us makes them feel overwhelmed, like touching something weird, which might just feel icky to us, and we wash it off, makes them feel out of control because all of their senses are more sensitive. Like, for example, the loud noises. Students who have autism don't like loud noises. So sometimes when the bell rings at school, they cover their ears. Or if you're in the cafeteria and you're being really loud and they're trying to eat breakfast or lunch, it makes them feel overwhelmed. And it actually makes them make more noises. But sometimes quiet makes them make noises too, because some kids who have autism don't have the ability to communicate clearly. And so they struggle to say what they're feeling and thinking. And so sometimes when they don't have the words, that's why they make noises. Kind of like when Zane was trying to join the conversation about something he loved, like a game. He didn't know how to say to them that he loved the game too, because he didn't know how to say, "I love the game." He didn't know how to start a conversation with his friends. He just knew he liked the same stuff, but he didn't know what to say. So then he started talking and all the kids had left, but they didn't know he was talking to them. And then something else that happens is that students who have autism, sometimes when you say something like "whatever floats your boat," that's what we call an idiom. And so they struggle with figures of speech, like "I'm all ears." That doesn't always make sense to them. They wonder, what does that mean, "I'm all ears"? And sometimes they even picture somebody with ears all over them. And so when you're talking with someone who has autism, you want to be as direct as you can and as clear as you possibly can. But these are my favorite things, because this is what I got to do as a teacher, kind of like this mommy did. I got to help my students who have autism feel powerful and strong and know that they're special, but sometimes they just struggle, just like we all do. And so I also got to work with kids who don't have autism and teach them about autism so that they could understand, because sometimes we just get scared of stuff we don't understand. And that's why we'll laugh or we'll stare. But the best thing to do is ask a question. If you don't know, ask a question, because kids who have autism are just like you. They love hot Cheetos, they love candy, they love video games, they love television shows, they love movies, they love all the things that you guys love. But they just want to be a part of the group, just like you do. So we are so lucky that on our campus, we have kids who have autism. Not every school has that. And so we get an opportunity to learn about autism and to love people who have autism who maybe we wouldn't. Maybe you have someone in your family who has autism, and so you completely get it. So I want to encourage all of our Heaton Bulldogs that when you come into contact with someone who might be different than you, just be understanding, ask questions, be kind. Don't treat them like they're different, because they're not that different from you. They're just respond to the world in a different way, and that's okay. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to share this book with you and say hi, and I miss you all, and I hope that you think about what I said, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon and teaching you more about loving each other and accepting each other for who they are, for who you guys are. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.